objectively better for you to get more attention than no attention.
I understand what Ahrelevant is trying to get at here, but he's dead wrong. Plenty of people get... If you never get positive attention, then how can you build self-confidence? Self-confidence... Look at Hassan. Hassan is the best example in the world. Okay, I'm eating this real quick. We're listening to Ahrelevant and something. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm 5'10", legit. Everyone thinks I'm 6 foot. That's what I'm talking about. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, just muting your stream so I'm not into like two of you.
Okay. So I've been watching some of this. To my knowledge, there's a lot I haven't seen. Is there any
Okay.
Yeah, is there any positions that you have that you might have changed since this interaction has occurred?
Not to my knowledge. I don't know how much you've watched or your opinion on what you have watched so far, so...
Okay, I'm at pretty heavy disagreement with a lot of the things that you've said. So, it feels very much like... So let's start with what I agree, and then we can work on, like, from there, all right? So I agree that... I agree there's a problem where... when Chud referenced the too much candy in the candy store, I do agree that there is a problem where women will have trouble finding the right person because there is a lot of options, and those options then, murk up the right option, right? You have 100 DMs, which one's the right guy? Obviously, going through all of those like dates or interactions and stuff is going to take a tremendous amount of time to figure it out, whereas somebody who has one DM and is like let's say disproportionately less attractive dude, right? They're probably going to have a higher chance of that one DM being somebody who's like there for them, like as a person, right? And so that's going to be a little bit easier, right?
Sure.
Okay.
It's also the fact that like it's not just that you have those options, it's that like so you got 1,000 pieces of candy, but you gotta lick every single one to figure out the one that doesn't taste like shit as well.
Right. That was.
It's not just work. It can also be really bad experiences along the way as well. Also, I'm eating toast. Sorry, I haven't eaten anything today.
That's fine. Yeah. So I think we agree on that. Is something that was agreeable there. It feels like when I'm watching this though, you're like. Do you recognize some of the points that Chud is making? Like, for instance, the one where it's like that there are a lot of men that can receive next to no or literally no attention from women at all. And that can be a very, like, detrimental experience, not only to their mental health, but also their social confidence, putting them in a position where they no longer want to ask a woman out because why would any woman want to date them? Because their history has been filled with women not wanting to date them. Don't you think that's like pretty realistic that somebody might go through that thought process?
Sure, though I think this is more of a confidence and self-esteem issue more than anything.
Yeah, and confidence and self-esteem comes with attention, right? So that person who's getting 1,000 candies in the candy store is going to have way more confidence than the person that gets one every year. Because while you are indeed getting attention that is not gonna necessarily lead, like if you get 1,000 pieces of candy, well, you are getting attention that may not necessarily easily lead to finding a actual long-term sustainable partner. You are getting attention, and people notice when they're getting attention and when they're getting ignored, right? At least you have the option, if you wanted to, that people are interested in you. But in the alternative case, nobody's interested in you. And like
I don't think that real confidence or self-esteem comes from simply the attention that you get from dating, and you can definitely build it much better in other areas of your life.
I don't disagree that it shouldn't come from that, but it often does, and that self-esteem and that confidence is, like I think you just referenced, easier to build when you have a good base for it, which is that people find you to be satisfactory in the first place. It's easier to build self-confidence when you have a...
I understand what Ahrelevant is trying to get at here, but he's dead wrong. Plenty of people get plenty of attention and have horrible self-esteem. The average woman has horrible self-esteem, even if she's getting a ton of attention. Even men have horrible self-esteem. Everybody has bad self-esteem. Getting a lot of attention from people doesn't build self-esteem at all. It's a non-factor.
a base of self-confidence that's built by other people thinking that you're worthwhile to even talk to. But when you don't have that base, it's very difficult to build self-confidence, because if other people don't see the value in you, it can be
so
difficult.
like, if they're not even wanting to talk to this person outside of dating, that's would suggest that that's a much bigger problem than them not having a partner.
What are you referencing?
Well, you said that people aren't interested in them, as if like you can build this confidence and self-esteem outside of dating and then take it into dating. The attention that you get from other people is a very shallow form of anything, actually. And I mean, do you think that there are not lots and lots of women out there that are attractive and get a lot of attention from people that don't also have crippling self-esteem issues? Because there are. It's probably like a lot more than you think. So if we take that into account, that doesn't solve anything. So I mean, even if it did, I wouldn't think it was a good way of doing it.
So which group of people do you think are going to be disproportionately more likely to be able to build self-esteem for themselves? People that are actively getting attention from other people and are actively getting appraisals from other people, want to be dated, want to be interacted with, or the people that are completely ignored by other people?
I think it depends on the person, because if you're getting attention, a lot of attention for basically just existing, there's very little incentive to then work on yourself as to be a better person, and that leads you down a very bad path, because that's not enough for your life. You need to be working on more important avenues in your life to build real confidence and self-esteem.
I understand that there's very little incentive for you to like go out there and do any of the self-building when it comes to your confidence and stuff. But as you just said a second ago, there's a lot of people who are getting a lot of messages online that have very bad social anxiety and stuff like that. So those people would have that incentive if they recognize that as being a part of who they are, is that they're very self-conscious about themselves and stuff. So the goal would be to incentivize those people to have more confidence, or to go seek avenues
for
to be
sure.
able to,
Like, incentivizing confidence is good. I mean, if you are starting out,
Kelly shouldn't concede on this point at all. Self-esteem has nothing to do with other people. It just doesn't. The only way that other people can help you build self-esteem is if you're like in relationships where other people are helping you, like parents can help you build self-esteem, or teachers, or maybe coworkers or classmates, in like a positive environment where you're learning to like love and accept yourself and like grow as a person or whatever. But just getting attention from other people has never made somebody feel confident. That's never going to give you self-esteem. It might give you a false sense of self-esteem, but as soon as you don't have that attention anymore, you're fucked. And you can still feel like you have low self-esteem even if you are getting that attention. This is just a total they're not related at all.
at the bottom of anything.
Dusty, you're fucking wrong. It might not be the entire thing, but it absolutely helps. Doesn't help at all. Absolutely not. I'm telling you that it doesn't. It can build some false bravado, or maybe make you a little egotistical or narcissistic, but you'll still have massive self-esteem issues. There are so many incredibly hot. Look at Hassan. Hassan is the best example in the world. Super hot guy. Everything in life is given to him. Horrible self-esteem. Constantly gets triggered by people. Like has like anxiety, feels problems and shit. Like if somebody like that, or Kelly in chat is pretty. She probably has crippling self-esteem issues. I'm just guessing because she's a woman. Or literally any like hot woman that's like on Instagram. Like all of these people. Like all of these people have huge self-esteem issues. Like they all do. I'm telling you, they all do. Every single fucking big Instagram model or whatever. All of these people fucking hate themselves. All the attention does not help.
That can be a lot of motivation for you to, improve yourself. I'm not saying that if you don't get any attention at all, it will probably negatively affect you. But it doesn't also fix things exactly, and it can make certain things worse. I think there's a lot of nuance to this, right? It's not just so straightforward as like you get a lot of attention that fixes things.
Well, I mean, I think the thing that is pretty straightforward is it is objectively better for you to get more attention than no attention. I feel like that's pretty well brought out in most of my understanding of the psychological analysis of human beings.
Are you sure other people maybe build self-esteem in different ways? No, I'll tell you that most people don't have self-esteem. Even most people that say they have self-esteem don't. They're just surrounded by a lot of people that give them a lot of positive validation. If you never get positive attention, then how can you build self-confidence? Self-confidence is I know who I am, I know what I have to offer, I know the things that I want in life, and I have a good place for these things. They all exist like in a really stable environment. Low self-esteem is when those things aren't stable and external influence can jar you in different ways. So somebody with very low self-esteem can actually be highly susceptible to positive validation or positive external influence. Because now, oh God, I feel shit. Oh, but this person's blah, 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 blah. But the problem is when you start removing that external validation, they go right back into the shitter. Or if that external validation changes, or if they get external criticism, then they can get fucked as well. Like, how do you build self-confidence? If I knew the answer to that, I'd be a billionaire selling self-help fucking things everywhere.
Is that you want
it would
some
also
kind of attention.
depend on the kind of attention too. So if you're getting a lot of negative attention,
well, yeah, sure, yeah. Obviously, you don't want people bullying you always, but I feel like we were referencing primarily like, you know, people giving you some kind of positive attention. The reference of dating.
Yeah. So if you're not getting any attention at all in all avenues of your life, I would agree. But I think if the only avenue of your life you're not getting that attention is that you're just dating, then I don't think it's as big of a problem as maybe other people do here.
Okay. Next time on Dragon Ball